Marketers and public relations professionals at the Jersey Shore got a crash course in how to use social media most effectively at the April luncheon of the Jersey Shore Public Relations and Advertising Association in Neptune. David Deutsch, the founder and chief strategist from SynergiSocial, talked about how to handle your social media presence online and to know who's talking about you, your business, and your brand.
Whether you like it or not, this is how the world is communicating. I didn't do it, and I wish I had. I wish I had created Facebook or LinkedIn or Twitter, but I didn't. And my job is to bridge that gap and help clients understand that this is how people are communicating, and you can either have it happen or it's going to happen without you, and the world's going to go right by you.
What are some of the generational differences, concerns you're seeing from older people considering using social media?
Well, it's a very interesting question because a lot of the young people I work with in their 20s and stuff are walking away from social media. They don't trust it, they don't like it, and they're annoyed by it. Young people today are very skeptical of any kind of marketing, and they're very skeptical of social media. So on the one side, we have young people who are really sort of pushing away from it in a lot of ways, which is very surprising that I've seen. The older folks, the old people, are actually in some ways a little bit more receptive once they understand how it works, because learning to use the technology is not the hard part, right? It's knowing how to have that conversation with people. And so and I think there's a lot of wisdom to when older people say, I don't want to use this, I don't trust this stuff. I think there's a lot of wisdom and experience behind that because they know that there are consequences to actions where an 18-year-old might not. Every age group has its own challenges on social media, mine included.
Senior practitioners at the presentation said that even though they knew a lot about social media, they found the presentation helpful.
You've got to be in it. If you're not in it now, you're going to lose out on customers, lose out on potential business. It's very important to make sure that you have a presence. What you do with that presence depends on what kind of business you're in. The opportunity is there, though.
There's some particular concerns that financial institutions and heavily regulated industries have about using social media. You're dealing with some of those. What are some of the concerns?
The concerns are over-exaggerated, in my opinion, in that if you follow the same rules that you have with the websites, you're going to be okay. Now, there are other concerns you have to worry about in terms of customer complaints. You have to make sure those are properly documented. However, there is regulatory guidance out there that does show what you need to do. You follow that guidance, you won't have any problem as a financial institution.
It's always good to network with your peers and to stay current. And today's program was absolutely phenomenal.
What did you get out of it? What was the most important takeaway for you?
I think one of the things I got out of it is social media is still developing. Nobody really has all the answers, and we're still finding our way. And I realized I knew more than I thought I knew, so it was enjoyable.
Anything you're going to go home and try out that you heard in the presentation?
Actually, some of the social media monitoring tools that he mentioned, looking at Bitly a little closer, I've used it, but not to the extent that he mentioned. And I think I'm also going to look at the other social monitoring tools. Radian 6 is great, but it's expensive, so the fact that he gave us alternatives was fantastic.
In Neptune, this is Steve Lubetkin for State Broadcast News.